Welcome to the demonstration of the BrightPack integration module, the integration module between Brightpearl and Metapack. Before we start, I'm going to go into the Metapack backend and just go through a few key settings that we need to understand before we talk about the actual integration itself. For those who are users, you'll understand or know this backend quite well. This is the standard backend that you see when you log into your Metapack account. Firstly, I'm going to go to Setup and discuss a couple of settings here first. The particular buttons I'm interested in are the Choose Carriers and Services button and the Service Groups button. I'm going to click into the Choose Carriers and Services button first. Now within this menu, you'll see the services and the service types that have been allocated to your Metapack account. Now these will have been set up by Metapack when you first opened your account and typically include multiple carriers, raw mail and parcel force. In this particular instance, in this particular account, we have Interlink, Parcel Force, and Raw Mail. And with each one of these particular carriers, we've got a variety of different services that they offer. So in the case of Interlink, we have ExpressPack 1x3, which is a 1 kilo next day service, or ExpressPack 5x930, which is a up to 5 kilo service by 9:30 the next day. Now the one thing that we need to understand and consider here is that each one of these particular services within Metapack has a unique identifier code. So this particular one here, for example, this is ExpressPack 5x930, has a unique code associated with it for Metapack purposes. Now these codes can be found on their website. There is a CSV file that you can download, and once open you can effectively find the representative code for each particular service that is relevant for you. I'm going to go back to the Setup menu, and we're going to have a quick look at the service groups. Okay, service groups are particularly powerful. It's a Metapack option that you can include these in, which allow you to create service groups to allocate your parcels to. So in this particular instance, I've created one service group here called Best UK Courier, and within that I've said, right, I would like Interlink ExpressPack 1 to be included and also Interlink ExpressPack 5 to be included. And I've given it a code, which is also important to recognize for Brightpearl purposes, which I'll show you in a minute. So this means that if I allocate or want to allocate a parcel to this particular service name, Metapack will automatically choose the appropriate service type, depending on, in this case, probably the weight. i.e., if it's below 1 kilo, it'll allocate the cheaper option, but it's still next day. Or if it's over 1 kilo and not over 5 kilos, it will allocate the ExpressPack 5. Again, the most important thing here is that we consider the code, because this is what we will be using within Brightpearl and what is fundamental to the integration. Okay, so now I'm going to move to my Brightpearl account. Here we are actually here in the sales and goods out note screen, the due to ship screen. So this is the main screen that the warehouse operatives or anybody doing the picking and packing element of sort of any day-to-day process will be primarily involved with. I'm not going to go through creating sort of these particular goods out notes or creating these orders. There's plenty of information on that on the Brightpearl website. Suffice it to say, in this particular instance, what we have is we have 6 particular orders that have come through Brightpearl that are ready to be picked, packed, and shipped. Before I go too far into that, however, I want to explain some of the basic settings that is required in Brightpearl in order to set up this module. And really, it primarily relates around the shipping methods. So in your Brightpearl account, and in order for Brightpearl to effectively talk correctly to Metapack, we need to ensure that the settings, the shipping settings, are set up correctly. So I'm going to go into Setup, and I'm going to scroll down to Shipping, and in the shipping I'm going to go to Shipping Methods. Okay, so this will bring up the shipping methods within Brightpearl. As you can see here, there are a number of shipping methods already set up, and each one of these specifically relates to a particular service within Metapack. So in the instance here, for instance, where we have Interlink ExpressPack 1 next day by 12, we have the code, and this code here is the code which is used by Metapack to identify this service. Again, the one underneath, the ExpressPack 1x3, again, the code that is used to identify the service to Metapack. If I scroll down, we'll see a different code for raw mails and a different code for parcel force. Again, as I said, each one of these is unique, and these can be found on the Metapack website in their CSV file that can be downloaded readily. So what we've effectively done is we've set up a number of shipping services, we've given them the appropriate name, and we've added the particular code that's required for Metapack. In addition, what we've done at the top here is we've created options for service types. So we've effectively duplicated, if you like, in a way, the service types that we have in our Metapack accounts. So in our Metapack account, if I again go to the service groups, we can see we've got 3 codes, MP1, MP2 and MP3, and they have been set Best UK Courier, Best International Service, Best Raw Mail. We've duplicated that in Brightpearl, and we've given them the appropriate code. The one important difference to note is that the @ symbol denotes that it is a service group and not a dedicated service type. Okay. From a Brightpearl perspective and the integration perspective, that's all you need to do. It's a very, very simple setup. It requires really a few minutes work to get going. It's powerful in that respect. So how does that relate to orders coming into the Brightpearl system? So I'm going to go to the sales screen and I'm going to go and look at some orders. Okay, so we have the latest order in the system. I'm going to take a look at that. So this is a typical invoicing order screen within Brightpearl. These will get created either automatically in the case where an order has come down from a particular channel, e-commerce channel, be that eBay or Amazon or indeed a Magento channel, or will be created manually. The key thing here is that at the bottom of the page we have a shipping methods box, and these shipping methods box, the information in this particular shipping methods box relates to what we've just set up in the setup menu. So within any particular order we need to allocate a particular shipping method as part of our administrative process. So in the case of this particular order, we see that this particular product with a weight of 300 grams, the administrator has chosen Best UK Courier, which is basically saying Metapack can decide, I want a courier, but they can decide which is the most appropriate one based on whatever rule base has been set up, most likely sort of weight and price. Once this has been saved and then fulfilled in the usual manner within Brightpearl, this particular order will then appear in the due to ship pane.